Hey everybody, I'm John and this is Blind Whiskey Reviews. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, the most honest reviews on YouTube. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below so you know every time I'm putting out a new video and every time I'm starting a new live stream. Today we'll be reviewing the Old Potrero Single Malt Straight Rye Whiskey, so I'm excited to do this one for you. And I just want to give my buddy Micah a shout out. He gave me this bottle a few months back when he came over, so Micah, thank you, and you'll have to come over soon so we can have a drink of this. So let's not waste any more time, let's jump back in time and get to the review. All right, everybody, let's get into the whiskey. First, we got the color. This is pretty solidly a dark amber color. On the nose. Got a little bit of light fruit. Touch of sweetness, some spicy characters. Definitely doesn't stand like a, doesn't smell like a bourbon. Maybe we're heading more towards that rye side of things. Maybe a higher rye bourbon or a rye whiskey. But let's figure this out and get to the taste. Cheers. Wow, that's very different. Front of the tongue, you got some light fruity sweetness. Quickly it turns into these spicy characters. Black pepper is real big on this one. Maybe some like lighter vanilla notes in there. This is interesting. I've definitely never tasted anything quite like this before. Medium on the palate, lighter side of medium, a little thin. Got a little bit of heat on the tongue. Say it's a touch sharp, not bad. There's very interesting flavors, and like I said, a couple that I've just never picked up on a whiskey before, so I might have to give this one a couple extra tastes to kind of help narrow down what I'm tasting here. Yeah, I'm really feeling like this is a rye whiskey, though. It's pretty dry, very minimal sweetness. Really like I said, kind of the same notes before. There's some lighter fruits at the front. You get almost a dill character that kind of converts into maybe like a more of a peppery type spice. Maybe like some cinnamon characters in there to go along with it. And then very quickly it turns into this big black pepper kind of flavor. And I've tasted black pepper in predominantly rye whiskeys before, but this one, I've never tasted it so upfront as this one is. We'll give it one more taste here, and then we'll drop some water in here. In the middle of the palate, there's a little bit of like a citrus character that kind of blends in with like the baking spices, that dill character. Comes right after like the lighter kind of fruity characters in the front of the tongue. This one's interesting. Getting a little bit of like numbness on my lips, so it's definitely not 80 proof. Now I'm almost getting like, as I'm sitting here with it and letting it kind of, the flavors are still sticking. It has a relatively long finish. It's still sticking around, changing a little bit. Get a hint of like I don't know how to describe it. It's almost it's a woody character, but it doesn't necessarily feel like oak. Maybe it feels like something else. And it has this deeper character, like a charred. Maybe we're tasting some of the barrel char in here. It's just different. It's very interesting. It's different. In terms of proof, I would say this is right around the 90 to maybe 95 range. Not too hot. Definitely not low proof though. Let's put a couple drops of water in here and see what we get. Right. Whatever this is, it's very unique. Oh, the water definitely opened it up a little bit. There's some definitely picking up some deeper sweet notes now that were not there before. Maybe a bit of like brown sugar. Definitely rounded out the back end. The pepper's still huge back there, but it sweetened it up a little bit. The water definitely brought forward some sweetness, which I think was kind of needed for this. And again, this bottle just got opened, so some airtime might do this whiskey some good and let it open up a little bit. But I think the water actually helped a little bit. I'm definitely still left with like this charry character in my mouth, so. Age-wise, this one's tough because I'm getting a few characters I feel like suggest maybe there's some age on it. I'm getting a few characters, a little bit, like I said, it's a little sharp, that maybe make me feel like it's a little bit younger. So I'd really if I'm taking a guess at age, as a shot in the dark. But let's just say it's somewhere in that middle range, 6 years, give or take. Definitely an interesting whiskey. And as for a rating, I'm going to say it's good. I feel like it needs to open up a little bit. I'm just a little thrown off by the characters I'm getting in this because they're so different than what I've had in the past. But I think it's good. I think it's drinkable. And I do like that it's unique. And there's a medium amount of complexity in there. It's not overly complex, but it's definitely not, just a one-note type whiskey. So I'm going to say this whiskey is an 81. I think it's a good whiskey. And let us see what it is. This. Old Potrero single malt straight rye whiskey. Well, we got the rye part. Let me go grab that bottle and we'll talk about it a little bit more. All right, we just finished the review of the Old Potrero single malt straight rye whiskey. This is pot distilled and aged in new charred oak barrels. It's distilled, aged, and bottled by Anchor Distilling Company in San Francisco, California. So this whiskey is 45% alcohol, 90 proof. So I think they pretty much drank like that. We said that in the review. It does have an age statement on it. So it says it is 100% straight rye whiskeys, 3 years, 4 months or more old. So it's a younger whiskey. And I think I said it was like 6, give or take. And the real reason I said that was like I kept describing, like it has this charry character toward the end that really makes you feel like maybe it's got a little more age on it than it actually does. So, I mean, that's kind of a helpful thing for the whiskey. As I said in the review, this whiskey was just so unique, had a lot of different characters to it that I really haven't found in other whiskeys before. So I think that gives it something going for it. It's different and it's hard to tell, if you like something or don't when you first try something that's so different. But I think it's cool that somebody's putting out something that's cool and unique like this. So as for value, this whiskey goes for anywhere between $55 and $65, which puts it on the high end of a 3-year-old 90 proof rye whiskey for sure. So it's hard to say that this is a good value because it is a pretty expensive whiskey. Like I said, it is unique, and I think it's worth trying. So if you get the opportunity, maybe you can grab a taste at a bar and see what you think of it. I'm really curious to see how this opens up, because as you saw in the review, when we added the water to it, it definitely changed it quite a bit. In this case for the better, but I'm kind of thinking that some airtime on this whiskey is really going to help it open up. It probably doesn't need the water. It probably just needs some more time to breathe. So I will definitely be coming back to this one in a re-review. If I've done this already, it'll be linked up here in the top corner. So like I said before, if you haven't already, tell me what you think of Old Potrero down in the comments below. It's a very interesting whiskey, so I'd love to hear anybody else's take on it. As always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews, that's whiskey with an E, @gmail.com. And until next time, cheers.